Hi, I'm Chris Travell, and thanks for joining us today on The Ride. Last week, as you recall, I took a look at internet usage in the United States to try and get a sense of how Americans are using the internet to shop for their new vehicle. As promised, I want to take a look at Canada this week to see how Canadians are using the internet. At first blush, a general overview, about 2/3 of Canadians are using the internet in some way to shop for their new vehicle. But below that, let's dig a little deeper to see how they are actually using the internet. Now, as the numbers build on the screen here in our Maritz Market Minute, we see a number of interesting things. Not too surprisingly, perhaps, manufacturer websites, the most useful internet site for customers, followed by dealer websites, which I find very interesting because even though it's getting better in recent years, there is still some inconsistency in dealer sites across the country, followed by independent automotive sites, email correspondence with the dealers, and so on. You can see the top ones as they pan out here. But these are indeed the most useful internet sites. But how does that compare to general sources of information? Well, a few weeks back, those of you who've been following The Ride will notice that we did a piece a couple of weeks back now on Lest We Forget, People Buy from People. And this is something which I need to stress, because even though, yes, you need your internet strategy, I mean, that's clear and has to be done. Those are green fees. But we have to always remember that our customers buy from people. People buy from people. And where this conclusion came from is this data, which I want to show you in our next Maritz Market Minute. We asked customers in Canada the most important sources of information. And what we find, the top two, which have been pretty consistent over time, salespeople at the dealership, family and friends, and then consumer guides, manufacturer websites, and so on. But the point I want to come back to is, again, people buy from people. And in allocating the budgets that you do have, do not neglect the training of salespeople at the dealership level. I know this sounds like motherhood and apple pie, but the numbers are there that human interaction cannot be forgotten in the buying experience that Canadians go through, and we always have to keep that in mind. So just some practical things to close off on as far as how Canadians are using the internet. At the dealer site level, are they current? Are they up to date? Some very practical application there. Who's responding to the email that comes into dealerships? We saw that too as an important use of the internet by our customers. And lastly, one that kind of jumped out at me was the importance of online videos. Now, many of you are doing that, but perhaps we should consider making them a little bit more noticeable on the home pages of the corporate sites. So I hope you've found this helpful, and again, look forward to all your comments, and thanks again for joining us today on The Ride.